Yes, we can.
From the beginning. So in these sessions, I'm going to basically go through some essential equipments. I'll touch a bit on the professional equipment in case anybody have any question on it. Then I'm going to take you through a show that I produced in 2018 and 2019 from one trip itself. It's just a 5-minute slideshow. Then I'm going to go through a series of photographs that we shot in 2015. Most of them are from 2015. And then you can ask questions on the lens I use, how it's been done. Essentially, just give you an idea what to expect and how to capture it. All right. Anytime you have any question, just stop me and ask questions. Yeah. So now, this is the piece of toy, the latest discovery, which I think everyone should get one. It's hot selling, and it's I think it's something that is produced that is out way beyond its time, and it's very, very good to use. What it is the DJI Pocket Osmo 3, right? So you can see the package there on the left. You have got the box, and this camera itself can do both still pictures and video at 4K. It has its own built-in gyro, which is very stable, and you can shoot both portrait and landscape. You can just rotate the screen very, very quickly, and it's very, very good in low light. So the picture on the right, you'll see this model of me. We're on a boat, on a moving boat, right? And this is like 6:30 in the evening without any lights, just the light from just the it's captured with the camera itself, without any lighting around, and we're able to capture her. You can see her dress, you can see the background, because a very nice rendition of colors as well. So in this set, you also have got a built-in microphone in the set itself, a built-in gyro, and it also can give you a little transmitter, which you can also add this. For example, you're shooting we expect to show a lot of social media stuff, a lot of recording with each other. You can put your mic on yourself or on the person interviewing or talking to, and then you point the camera and the microphone will actually record straight onto the camera. This is the package. It comes in a combo package, and you got a wide angle lens you can attach to it as well, and you also got extra batteries live. So you attach the batteries onto this body itself with a tripod. It can last you easily for 2-3 hours without a problem. And it also is charged USB-C by charging your phone, all right? I want to show you now this very, very short video clips of the model moving, right? You can see how stable it is to the gyro. Let's see whether it works. Hang on. Okay, I'll show you here now.
1、2、3，对，1、2、3，1、2、3，1、2、3。等下我拍照片。
So you can see the boat is moving. I'm hand holding the camera itself, and you can see it's fairly stable with the gyro. So if you're recording on the ship anywhere, it's something you can whip up very quickly, and you can record very easily. And it's in huge demand now. So get one package, order one package, or go to the shop and get the packages. It's very affordable. I think it's only about $500-600. All right.
1、2、3，对，1、2、3。
Now another camera I find is a very tough camera that is highly recommended. It's coming in about 4 or 5 series now. We got TG4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the TG7. It's very rugged. You can drop it from 2-3 meters height. It's very rugged. You work in snow environment. You even work underwater up to about 12 meters underwater. So you basically it's a waterproof camera. And also you work in all temperature from -10 to +10, plus 30, 40 degrees without a problem. It has got program modes. It even has a built-in GPS. So if you turn it on, every picture you take, you know exactly where you took the picture, all right? And one thing that's very fascinating about this camera, it has got a microscopic mode, meaning you can take if you put it next to your hand, you can actually see your hair and your pores. So you can really do microscopic modes and like use it for plankton shoots way back in 2015. So at the time, 2015 it was TG4 or TG3, I think. So now it's evolved to TG7. It does 4K video. The shutter speed up from half to 1/2000 of a second. You got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth modes. So similar to the DJI Pockets, each time you shoot, you can sync it with your phone, and the pictures and video go straight to your phone as well. So you can use it very, very quickly. And we tested this before in the field last year in Azores. I'm able to shoot on a moving boat of dolphins. You get fairly good usable footage. Sometimes so it's very handy to have one of these camera. I think it's about in the region of $300-400. So it's fairly inexpensive and it's very rugged. You have one, you last you for years. All right. Any question, anybody?
I have a question. Will all these links to the cameras and other equipment will available after the lecture? Can you put them someplace so that we can go back?
Yeah, I was shared in a group chat for the DJI Pockets 3, the combo unit, and also for this TG7, what you can easily purchase. All right.
Hey,
I have a question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Gayla. Is the DJI, that model, is it waterproof or is it not?
It's not waterproof. It's a little bit water resistant. So I won't put it under like a G7. But I've used it last trip in the Maldives, and had it on board. So it's fairly tough in a way. But I wipe it down after each time up in the field. And I'm not sure they have a housing for this yet, but because this is relatively new. But when I tried buying this 1-2 months back before my last trip, I have looked everywhere in Singapore and Australia, couldn't find it, but now it's back in stock. So you can get it ordered straight away. It's very, very handy to use, and it's got very, very good stereo sound as well. All right?
Thanks.
All right. Now, this is a shot of a professional DSLR or mirrorless camera in the cost of tens of thousands of dollars. This is a good compromise. Now, the Coolpix series of Nikon has been released 10, 15 years ago. Evolved right up from 7,000. Right now is this Nikon. Hang on, name should be there. It should. Where is it now? It's the Coolpix 1100. All right. Why is the name doesn't come out? It's this Coolpix 1100. I'll put a name for you later. Now, what is amazing, I have not tested this before, but I'm going to get one just for the heck of it to see whether I can do it with this. I can do it better than a $20,000 camera. It has got a zoom range of 24, 35 mm equivalent to a film camera, up to a ridiculous 3,000 mm. For professional lens, to buy a 600 mm lens, there's like $20,000. And this little guy can shoot up to 3,000 optical, not even digital, optical zoom to 3,000 mm. Of course, I read the review online. Of course, at 3,000, don't expect your image to be very sharp compared to a DSLR 600 lens that is, $20,000. But my argument is this: if this camera costs, I think US dollars is about $800 or even less, about $700, all right? You can go and buy from B&H in New York. If at 3,000 mm, you can shoot a decent picture, even though it's not sharp of a polar bear, all you need to do is put the picture into AI, into photo AI, you can get a sharp picture. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to get a unit and try, and then that's, why bother with a $20,000 lens when we can do one with $800? It's got an ISO of 100 to 6400, so it's pretty good in low light condition as well, theoretically, but of course I have not tried. And again, it has got USB-C. You can charge it. You can connect to charge it like a phone. and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth to your phone camera, to your computer. And I don't know what is this bird watching mode and moon mode down. I suppose for shooting the moon. And also you can record in 4K. So this little guy, I think it's about I think it should be about $800 US dollars. And then we can really do what it actually does. So you got a flip up screen on the back. Then, try it. But if you're short of having a professional DSLR camera, if you're going to buy one camera for shooting polar bear or birds, right? This is the one to go to. So you need to have at least two cameras on the trip. One is at least, if this is the main camera, then the TG7 or the Pocket could be a good instant whip out, because using a camera like this will take a bit more time. So there is something for you to think about, the least essential you should have for the trip. So I personally will bring 2-3 other cameras, but they're all professional camera, like the Nikon Z9, Z8, and also or the 850 with all the long lenses. It is, need a big backpack to carry them around. So it's a pain in the neck, but that's what we have to live with when we are shooting professionally for magazine, etc. But we have also published picture in Ocean Geographic from a TG7. And look, I can publish pictures and video from the Pocket as well. And certainly with a compact camera like the Nikon Coolpix, we have published pictures like this, from this such camera before. And it's all very, very usable. And again, now with a very inexpensive app like Topaz Photo AI, you can actually sharpen your pictures and clean up your picture very, very quickly. And then, why invest in such a big camera when you don't have to? All right. So any questions so far?
What kind of photo AI are you using?
The most popular one that is acceptable or generally good standard is the one with Topaz, TOPAZ. I think it's only less than $100, and then you actually use it with Photoshop. But that is if you're using Photoshop, But otherwise, there are many around, and there are many around. Some even on your phone, and some that on an app on the iPad, or on a computer you can use. That is very inexpensive. There are several around. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to add some photo AI app that you can download onto your phone as well, that you can install. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So now I'm going to go into some details on what you will see and what are the possible lenses going to use. Now, birds and polar bears. Now, birds especially are, normally great distance away, but of course some will come on the ship itself. But relatively, you have to use a long lens to shoot them. Okay. Now, the go-to lens for those professional shooter, for me, I'll bring a 400. I stopped using the 600 anymore because it's too big. But I use a 400 with a built-in stabilizer, built-in gyro, and I can also add a plus 1.7 or plus 2 teleconverter if I need the range. Right, that is a go-to lens for a distance. You also want to have a 70 to 200 lens of view, because when you're on a Zodiac, sometimes it get closer. You want to have a shorter lens because it's faster, and also you also can shoot a bit of the environment of the animal where they live in, where they are at. So instead of having just close straight up to the face, you want to shoot a bit of the background to where they actually shot, where they actually animal actually exists. So you need something. I switch to a shorter lens if you're closer. So if you look at this range, right? If you buy the Nikon Coolpix 1100, it covers the range all the way to 600, in fact to 3000, and also you start from 24. So it's one camera built-in lens that do it all. By the way, I'm not paid by Nikon, so I probably have to buy the camera just to run the test during this trip. All right. Now, landscape and people is also important to do some landscape as well, and also people shot to tell, for storytelling. You need those people shot. You need landscape as well. These two is essential. You have got need a 24 to 70 lens. So for the professional shooter, I usually carry one with me for shooting people. And for white landscape, like, to take in all, you need a 14 to 24. Because at 14, for those who understand language, you have a bit of distortion on the edge, right? So, which means that you will shoot it not at 14, but probably at 16 or 20, all right? Let's see who is trying to come in. Okay. All right. So any question on the zoom range? So if you have Nikon Coolpix, again, you cover the entire range. So for those who are bringing lenses, like what I do, these are the lenses you need to bring and swap between landscape, people, and birds and polar bear. But if you have, again, even if you're a professional shooter with a big camera, you also want to have the TG7 with you in your pocket. Sometimes you get very quick shot, candid shot of people for storytelling as well. So I suggest everyone should have at least a TG7 or the Pocket Osmo 3 with you. All right. Any question before I move on?
No, that's good.
That's good. Okay, now let's see what we've got next.
Sorry, Michael. What about phone cameras?
Use a TG7. This is a very fun camera, very stable. In case you drop it, just make sure you have a lanyard on your wrist, because I've seen people dropping this camera before. You can drop it on land without a problem.
Yeah.
If you throw this camera at someone, you can kill somebody, because it's very hard and solid. But you don't want to drop into the ocean, okay? Especially on Zodiac.
Okay.
Right?
So that's better than you just using your phone.
Exactly. It's much better than a phone, much sharper, much clearer, and also very good in low light than a phone as well. And you don't want to drop it. Having said that, everybody we are providing everybody with a customized phone pouch for your phone during this trip. So you get one of these things, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right. So moving on, here's a short video for you to see what is possible. I shot this in 2018 or 30, I could remember, right? So let me know if you can hear the sound. It was done on a small ship with only 8 of us on this trip. Can you hear the sound? Putting a 6 years old Russian little god doing a polar plunge. So everybody will have a chance to do a polar plunge during this trip. All right.
I was going to ask if we could. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. So you have an option to do it. We usually do a polar plunge. We do it in Antarctic. We do it in the Arctic. It's quite refreshing. So when you come back up, we'll give you a glass of vodka. So that's something to look forward to. So going through this, here we see a map of on the west of Slavats. So you can see we've long been there. So these are all the fjords on the west Spitsbergen, and we hope to visit at least 3 or 4 of these fjords, including, you see the letter P here. That is Akavallak in the Hinlopen Strait. That's the furthest part of fjord that we will visit. So we'll do a few of this. So now I'm going to show you several pictures, give you an idea what to expect. Now, this is one of my favorite, in fact, it's my favorite fjord, called Magdalene Fjord in West Slavat. Unfortunately, this fjord is very, very popular. Sometimes you get up to 6 to 7 ships inside this fjord, and it's get too crowded. And then, and also to land, to do a landing, you can only put 100 people on land at any one time. But it's not a problem because we will have about 100 to land. But we generally now most of us avoid this place because it's very crowded. But we will try. Let me show you what this fjord is like. All right, it's actually a fjord. You can actually see up to 5-6 glaciers in one go. So this is one. This is here. You can see two glaciers front, and this you can see 2 glaciers front as well. And that's taken with a 7200 lens, I believe. What I did was I climb up quite high and do 5 shots and stitch this picture together. So I actually have this in my lounge room. You can see here you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see all the entire fjord. So this fjord itself is very popular, and it's one of the in early days we were able to do this because there's hardly any ship there in those days. This one actually is taken in 2013, I believe. When I was more than 10 years ago, I was still able to want to climb up a steep hill like this, to capture a shot like this.
I don't have my camera on.
Sorry?
Was it?
Can you see? So, but this is actually a stitch of five pictures to get these shots. All right. So you need a zoom lens to bring the landscape closer to you, and then you do 5 shots and stitch it in Photoshop. So that's Magdalene Fjord. We'll try to go there if possible. Otherwise, there's some more beautiful fjords to go to. Now, on the fjord, when you climb on the Magdalene Fjords, you will see the little auks, right? Little auks is like the penguin of the Arctic. They look like penguin, but they fly. This little guy is quite small. I would say each one of them is no more than 10 centimeters tall. So you need a really powerful zoom lens to get them. All right. So I probably shot this with a 500 lens in those days. But if you have them in the air, you can't really see them because they're so tiny. Now, another advantage of the zoom lens is in the distance, you can look out for it. Whenever you're up in the Arctic, look into the distance, look up the fjord, look up the mountains. You get little segment like this. It's actually quite interesting to shoot, So if you don't look at it, you don't point your cameras, you won't see it. So you might look like just a mountain fjord range, but the minute you bring a zoom range in, you can see very interesting, because don't forget, you can see that there's this iceberg here, and it's way up high, right? So you get little range, and then you want a bit of clouds too, because it's more dramatic. This fjord we will visit. It's no longer like this. It's called the 14th of July glaciers. And this is taken, I believe, also in 2015, I believe. So this part is all gone now. It has retreated. So you still probably have a glacier front up here, which is about half a mile into the glacier itself. So you still should be able to see glacier's front. It's a very, very popular glaciers, and we've been monitoring these glaciers for the last 10 years or so. And it's a very interesting fjord. We also regularly have encounter with belugas inside this fjord. So we definitely want to go to 14th of July. And that is another glacier's front. Usually, when we go on a Zodiac cruise like this, or on a kayak cruise, sometimes we turn off the engine. Then you can hear the sound of melting ice, cracking ice, and hear the sound of glaciers carving. And you have to be sit on the Zodiac can be up to 2-3 hours. So dress warm and have a camera ready to shoot. And then when it start to carve, it's when it start to happen. So you can half anytime. So the idea is to fix your eyes onto your cameras, and it happen in a flash. And this is what happens. Then the glacier will start gushing at you like a little tsunami coming to your vessel, right? So for something like this, that's why I say this is probably taken with a 70-200 lens, whereas will be taken with a long lens. So yeah, something to think about. And this one, of course, is done while I'm in the water, over and under picture of iceberg. And this is a money shot. I've sold this picture many times, and you can try to do this too. You can put your camera in the water, half in the water. You can, if you have a camera, you can have a housing and it's waterproof. You can always try to do this, or similar to this my picture. Now, walruses, very interesting. We will go to at least one landing to see the walrus haul out. You can get up to about 50 of them. They hug each other to stay warm. And the idea is to single out the animals and have a good shot of them. So, how to isolate them. Of course, the best time is to do this if you can find a couple of them resting on sea ice. That will give you the best shots, right? So if you sit and hold up, and then how you zoom in and to one or two animals to get shots like this, right? So this guy probably he don't want to see us having a headache. And also there's several. I understand that the last year or so, there's several young walruses, the pup, and they're very curious. So you approach them on a Zodiac, and they will come close. They're very curious to come close. Some of the time they just pop up straight next to your boat as well. You don't want to get into the water there because they're huge, and the way the walrus eat is that they'll suck you inside out, right? So yeah, so if you can get them lining up for you in a shot like this, it is very interesting. But that's where you need a shorter lens, like a 70-200, because sometimes they come very, very close to a boat. And don't forget, when shooting in Svalbard, in the environment, sometimes you get very misty and foggy, and also there's a mist in the air. So your picture tend to be foggy and unsharp. So you better shoot them as close as possible. So it's up to the Zodiac driver that is taking you. He will try to give you the best camera position. And if you want him to move, just tell him, say, can you move, left, right, or closer, or whatever it is. He'll do his best. of course, safety in mind, right? And then you have them like this too, next to iceberg.
How many zodiacs will be out at any one time from our boat?
We will have, the vessel has got 16 zodiac. Usually
16? 60.
16
Okay.
zodiac.
I was like, whoa.
There's a lot of zodiac. So we normally, this huge industrial zodiac can take up to 12 people on a zodiac, but we don't want to put 12 people. We will hopefully, the magic number I like is 8. Last trip in 2023, we had about 10 or 11. We have less people for this trip now because we kept the numbers smaller. I suspect we'll have about 7 to 8 on a zodiac, so there's plenty of room for everybody to move around and shoot. And you don't really move on a zodiac. At least you can stand up, or you can squat, kneel down, and so the back people can shoot. But I will try to keep it about 8, 7 to 8 instead of 12. Right? And you will see some picture later on. Now, interesting thing to shoot, especially from these are actually shot from the ship itself, from the ship deck itself. This is good sign. That means you see footprint like this. It is polar bears. You see how big and big those paws are, huge paws. That's a big bear. They will tell you that a polar bear has been here recently because of the blood stain. And it's interesting to take a picture like this too, but you need a long lens, all right? And I think maybe, I like to see the Coolpix 1100. Now, Arctic tern are very interesting, birds to shoot. They are the longest migration bird in the world. They actually migrate from the Arctic all the way to the Antarctic. So you can call them Antarctic tern or Arctic terns. And this guy is actually, I shot this picture actually in Longyearbyen itself. There's a couple of spots within walking distance from the hotel. You want to go for early morning walk. And if these birds are nesting, they get close to them, they try to rise up and try to attack you, right? So so Arctic tern, you need a long lens to do them. And then of course, while we are on the zodiac, you also see them feeding as well. And in courtship, the male will try to feed the female and bring them food. Yeah. So it's very interesting. But they are very tiny birds, so you need again a long lens to do this. And of course, it's nice also to have polar bear in the distance, and then there's always bird flying. Is how you time a shot to have the birds over the polar bear. And this again is shot from the ship itself, not from a zodiac. All right. So, and I think if you read the bulletin, the ship is always either moving or there is a vibration on the deck. So if you sort of bring a tripod with a gyro, a sandbag, a rice bag, a small bag of rice, of 1-2 kilos, you rest it on the ship itself. And you can put a lens on it. You should also do the tricks. So in the early days, everybody come with a small bag of rice, and after when you finish it, you just donate the rice to the kitchen. Right? That's a very neat, cheap tricks to do.
Do we buy the rice in when we're in Longyearbyen, or do we have to bring
you can buy the rice in Longyearbyen, of course. There's plenty of rice, and they come in small little bags. So if you don't have a bag, just don't say I say this. The pillowcase in the cabin is quite good for the rice bag too. Okay, I didn't say it, right? That's what we do as photographer. Duct tape is also a very essential thing to have as a photographer. Now, polar bear they're very, very good hearing. Right? They can hear you up to kilometers away, or even 2 kilometers away. They can hear you. So, in the presence of polar bear, everybody is very, very quiet. All right, it's a long distance away. This guy is probably shot. I shot it with a very long lens, 4-500, and it's probably crop as well. And you can see them looking at you. All right, so. The idea, as I've mentioned several times, is to go up to pack ice, and then get closer. But within the field of Svalbard, we are talking about 500 to 500 meters before 30th of June, and after 30th of June, you get closer to them, about the 300 meters, right? I don't know how we're going to measure it, but apparently the good guy can measure the distance. Then you get a picture like this, this guy was shot in 2015, and he actually hang around. Those days, there's not much rules. He actually hang around the ship for about 2-3 hours, and then everybody got plenty of shots. And then sometimes they go swimming, and then they could dry themselves on the ice, and you get them jumping on that as well. So again, to catch a shot like this, you have to have plenty of memory on your card. So and then just shoot as much as you can, because it's rare to see a polar bear. And sometimes they wing as well, all right? And polar bears, you all know, they're actually black. The tongue are black, the skins are black. They only appear white because the fur actually transparent. So they appear white with the environment. There's actually polar bear is actually a black bear. So you see the black tongue. And then that is a lot of patience. And then each time you encounter a polar bear, it could be hours. We hope they have several opportunities like this. So just give an idea on ratio wise. On a 10-day trip, my least number of bear was 6 bears, and the most was 15 bears in 10 days. So it depends what kind of luck we get. But at this juncture, we need the pack ice and also in the fjord as well. And in June, July is usually a very, very good time. You're not going to get this picture anymore because it's prohibited for them to come to the ship. This guy is just beneath the ship. All right. So unless you get them up at the pack ice and then they come close, but otherwise this kind of picture next to the ship is very hard to shoot now. So you see a picture of the Bird Cliff. So we'll go to this cliff, and out of 5 times I'm there, we found bears on this cliff hunting, because especially in July when there's no more sea ice, the young bear have to go up the cliff to look for chicks and look for eggs. All right. Let's give you an idea how high this cliff is. That's what the cliff looks like at Kvelat. So that is our target point to go to along this strait. And there's also lots of birds there. And the diver will be diving here. And for the rest of us will be cruising on Zodiac to look for birds and bears and recording this. And there's also a glacier front here as well. And this is what the cliff looks like. We flew drones there before in 2015, but now drones is no longer allowed to fly here. So we have to use for our documentary, we have to use our old footage. You have an idea why they stopped drones here, because there's 10,000 birds or number of birds flying in the air, and they can attack the drones. So yeah, you'll be very careful here. So yeah. And you will see this bear. I'm sure you will see this bear for sure. This bear we shot in 2015, but you will see this bear, and you will see this bear as well. I promise you. You will see these 2 bears. All right. Moving on. Now here I'm going to show you some people shot and the shot you can take. Don't forget as for storytelling. This is on the main road of Longyearbyen. This is the University Polar Institute campus, and that is at the end of town. All right, so we'll do a tour on the day before we board the boat to go to the seat vaults and also to a camp. This we shot in 2015 up in the pack ice with Alex and Eric Battens. Doing video sessions but for the team music in 2015. So this is what it looks like up in the pack ice. And that was the recording sessions. And do take a picture of the little melt pond like this. It's good for storytelling, because it's melt pond like this. they actually absorb more heat from the atmosphere and accelerate the melting, all right, of pack ice. Now this but it's like on the Zodiac on the glacier's front is really open, so be kind to one another. You take turns to shoot, but at any one time have a camera ready, and this is how close you can get to a glacier's front. It may look very close to you, but from the Zodiac to the front of the glacier is at least 200 to 300 meters. So it looks very close, but it's not that close. So that is something to think about as well. All right. So that is on one of those Zodiac on the right. That is Stuart. He was our professional video guy shooting video for the documentary in 2015. Here, okay, the paparazzi of cameras from all the long lens shooters. And what they're shooting here, we did a landing, and in front of them, probably about 200 meters away, is probably about 20 or 30 walrus. And it's what it looks like. One or two keen one, the guy with the tripod, that is a 600 lens. And the rest holding cameras, the lenses, they are in the range of 300 to 400 lens. But 600 lens, there's no way you can handheld it, so that's why you need to bring a tripod. So it's something that you decide carrying one of these lenses is very heavy around, and nobody will carry it for you. You have to carry it yourself, all right? That's what it looks like. Okay, we won't be doing this anymore. That's what we did in 2015. We did a beach party on ice, and of course we have to choose the coldest day to do it, because it happened to be up in the pack ice. That day was -10, I believe. And we decided to stage a beach party, for the climate change message. And that was very funny, because straight away after this, all of them jumped straight into the sauna, the ship sauna. And if you look at it carefully, none of their feet touch the ground. That was 2015. Anyway, it looked like this on the also a Polar Pioneer Aurora ship in that time. It was called a Polar Pioneer. And of course, here you can see all the long lenses. Of course, in front of them, somewhere in front of them, is a polar bear. Now, the idea is that when you get onto the ship on the first day or so, get very familiar with the ship deck. I believe all of you or most of you will have a cabin with a balcony, so you can shoot straight outside from your own balcony. But not necessarily that be the best place to shoot animals. So go up to the top deck, deck 6, deck 7, deck 8, and also on deck 4, you can up at the lecture room, the lecture room itself. You can actually go outside the ship as well. You may not be able to go around the ship, but you can go. There's shooting platform outside the conference room. There's also shooting platform on the bow. There's no shooting platform on the stern. All right. So the idea is be friendly to one another, and if you need to, is to get the best position and ask permission to go into somebody's cabin to shoot. Just be nice to one another. Yeah. So deck 4 is almost water level, just one level above water. Deck 4. The deck 4 is where everybody bought the ship from, and deck 4 is also the deck that you go off on the landing. You go off on the mud from the mud room. You go off to go onto the Zodiac or also the kayak as well. So deck 4 is like the sea level deck, all right? And then deck 5, deck 6, and deck 7, and deck 8. So walk around the ship as much as possible. Be familiar with all the position for different situations. So just don't stay in a room or stay in the conference room, but walk around the ship as often as possible. You'll never know what you'll find. it's different from an expedition ship like this, which is very accessible. All right. We did this in 2015. If anybody want to do this again, if you have the chance, this guy called Wyland, he actually went on pack ice. We shot this from the ship itself. We parked the ship next to this ice platform. He actually took a broom and drew a sketch of a polar bear. And so that was quite interesting at that time. That is me shooting glaciers with a very, very big port, shooting over and under pictures. And that's it for now. And if anybody want to donate to our film, please go online and donate. We're still looking for money to produce our documentary. But anybody have any questions, just ask away now. Let me stop sharing.
As far as moving, you mentioned the mud room. So with so many people that are moving in and out of the boat, is it, do you feel like it's like a smooth process? Is it kind of chaos, or is it set up for people that have gear that can't bring gear into the warmer boat?
We have a very good system. We have divided into several teams. From Team Alpha to do whatever teams, the number of teams. I'll be doing that next week or so. Usually those who take longer time, for example, the divers, we have a call out first or last, and then next the kayak, because you need time to dress up in your dry suit. So the order may be like this or maybe reverse. So divers, kayakers, and then the various team could be 4, 5, 6 teams at one time, because you're already dressed, ready to go. You just have to have you just have to go to the mud room to put on your boots. So when you go to your mud room, you already, for those who are just going on Zodiac cruise, you will have your beanie, your jackets on, your wet pants on, and then you go in the mud room, because that's where you put on your boots and your life jackets. So if you are going on a Zodiac cruise, everybody have to have a life jacket on. So kayakers are in dry suit. Divers, of course, are in dry suit. I myself prefer whatever I do on a boat, I prefer to be in a dry suit, because it's number one, it's safer. Number two is that means I don't have to wear the awful red color life jackets. And also, it doesn't look cool. So, but for everyone else, you have to have a life jacket on. So, you are going Zodiac cruise. It means that you go to the mud room, put on your life jacket, put on your boots, and off you go in groups. So you'll be called in team. So every team will be assigned. We have a team leader, and the Zodiac driver is fixed. We did very well in 2023. We have. You're assigned to it. So, for example, Eirik is driving your Zodiac. So Eirik is coming on starboard side now, and all of you just go and board the Zodiac. So it's done in a very systematic manner, and we don't experience any chaos in 2022, even with about 120 people and plus ship crew. Each time we deploy, it goes up to about 135 people going out at any one time. So I don't think we have a problem.
Awesome. Thank you.
Michael, Bridget.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Bridget.
Quickly, how many passengers do we have on the cruise, and how many of them are divers?
Divers will be about 12.
Cool.
So divers will be in 2 Zodiac. 6.
Michael, with regards to the regulations and everything now within Svalbard, bringing a prime, would you say the 400 is fine, or would you suggest maybe bringing the 6?
Entirely up to you. I've done 400, 600 before. My go-to now is the 400 1.7 diopter.
Okay.
Because this way I don't have to use a tripod.
I've got a 1.4 for the 400, but I'm not too sure this the 2.0 would work really well with the 400. I heard some things about how some of those teleconverters don't work real well with
What
the
what
big
what which prime is this?
and it's either the 400 or the 600 with a 2.0 teleconverter.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That should work. That should work. Yeah. Just that you have to make sure that to break that on a Zodiac, you have a backpack for your lens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For those of us who are not professional photographers, not even a clever amateur, a teleconverter, so that affixes to your normal lens, does it, and doubles the sort of size, or what's the?
Yeah, teleconverter is there are some actually built into the lens now, but it's like a little converter you put at the back of the long lens that give you the double the range.
Okay.
So, or 1.5, 1.7 times the range, or double the range. So what it does is that it double the range, but you actually sacrifice a bit of sharpness, right?
Yeah.
It's an adapter. It's not a prime lens. Basically, the optical is corrected at the prime.
Yeah.
Sharpness. But once you put a teleconverter, you shift the optical center a little bit, so it may not be that sharp, right?
Okay.
So but then again, if you having said that, if you're going to invest in this Coolpix 1100, I tell you, a 3000 zoom, you probably have better picture than any of us.
Yeah.
And then with the digital AI, I mean, with the photo AI, by the time you sharpen it, you won't know which lens or camera it comes from. And I've used to pass AI, on Photoshop, and it does miracle. Picture that I think is you throw away. Now you put it on with this AI app, you sharpen it, then it's like, hey, it's become a usable picture.
Okay.
It's a miracle,
So what's
miracle these days?
What sort of cost is a teleconverter?
$100-$200, not expensive.
Yeah. No, okay. All right. Because
so whether it's a Nikon, Sony, or a Canon, they all, you can buy even third-party teleconverter. So of course, a Nikon one with heavy glasses inside will cost you up to $600.
Yeah.
But a third-party one from Tokina or whatever will cost you a couple of $100. So
okay,
it's
all right.
something that you can think about to buy the converter or not.
Yeah, no, that's
it all adds up. Everything adds up. The more this thing you carry adds on to the backpack you carry onto the Zodiac. So yeah, always have a lens cleaner. Always have that a dry back review, and also is also a good idea to your cabin wise, if you want to if it's at 23 degrees Celsius in your cabin, when you bring the lens outside, you'll fog straight away. So is on the ship itself, you want to put the camera around the bar area when the temperature is a bit cooler, or in the morning, bring your camera out of your room, out of your cabin, because the camera probably very warm for the night. Bring it outside early in the morning, and then get ready to shoot. Polar bear can turn up anytime. They don't turn up at the time you want them to turn up. So if a polar bear is around, everything goes out the window. Your meal time, if there's a polar bear around, everybody be out sitting out on the deck itself. So have a camera ready with you, with you, especially in a small little pouch, ready to go and shoot at any time.
Thanks.
Anyone have any other questions? Because I think I'm eating into Chris Cheng's time at the moment. No? All right. Chris, are you ready? Take over.
Almost ready.
Okay.